Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week wisdom and legacy building podcast. Today is day 506 of our trek, and it is Wisdom Wednesday. Every day along life's trail, we will dig for the nuggets of wisdom found in the book of Proverbs. Today, we'll explore the first half of chapter 26. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. As with most businesses, the week between Christmas and New Year's is slower and less hectic, and this is why Paula and I use this week for planning. Our goal for this week is to completely plan 2017, both personally and for our business. This involves planning our entire calendar for the next 12 months, as well as our financial budgets for the year. There will be some changes during the year, but it gives us a very good foundation from which to work from. We feel that it is very wise to plan as much as possible, while realizing that God will ultimately direct our steps as we follow Him each day. The opposite of being wise is to be foolish. On today's trek, we will explore several situations that a fool is caught up in. One of the ways to know if a person is a fool is that they continue on in their foolishness. This is equated to what a dog does, which is our title for today, as a dog returns to its vomit. So let's start in as we explore verses 1 through 14, and this is a section of more Proverbs of Solomon that were copied out by King Hezekiah. Verse number 1. Honor is no more associated with fools than snow with summer or rain with harvest. Just like we would not expect snow during the summer and rain is more rare during the fall, a foolish person should not receive honor for their foolish actions. In our overly sensitive environment of today, we are too quick to honor those who do not deserve it. Verse number 2. Like a fluttering sparrow or a darting swallow, an undeserved curse will not land on its intended victim. If you've ever observed the flight of a sparrow, or how a swallow darts back and forth, so it will be with someone who is cursed without cause. That curse will not have an effect on the unintended person. Verse number 3. Guide a horse with a whip, a donkey with a bridle, and a fool with a rod to his back. Just as a small whip or a small bit in a horse's mouth will guide the horse wherever it needs to go, the only way to direct a fool on the proper course is through discipline and correction, because they are too foolish to correct themselves. Verses 4 and 5. Don't answer the foolish arguments of a fool, or you will become as foolish as they are. Be sure to answer the foolish arguments of a fool, or they will become wise in their own estimation. While these two verses appear to contradict each other, it has to be analyzed in its original intent. You never want to argue a fool based on their foolish arguments, or you will become a fool yourself. If a fool wants to argue, counter only with wisdom and truth. In doing so, you will squelch the fool's argument, because they will not know how to effectively refute it. Verse number 6. Trusting a fool to convey a message is like cutting off one's feet or drinking poison. A foolish person is not reliable and cannot be trusted. When you try to rely on them, the results will be ineffective. It is the same as handicapping yourself or drinking poison and expecting someone else to become ill. Verse number 7. A proverb in the mouth of a fool is as useless as a paralyzed leg. A proverb is a short, wise saying, and when it comes from the mouth of a foolish person, it is of no use because it does not impact the person who is saying it. It would be as useless as attempting to walk on a paralyzed leg. Verse number 8. Honoring a fool is as foolish as tying a stone in a slingshot. Here's another verse about giving honor to a foolish person. It is not valid and will not have any more impact than tying a stone in a slingshot. It will only come back to hurt the one who is giving it. Verse number 9. A proverb in the mouth of a fool is like a thorny branch brandished by a drunk. A wise saying or a proverb coming from a fool is of no use because they are too dull and numb to the potential impact of the lesson. The analogy compares someone who is drunk. They do not realize that they've grabbed onto a thorny bush that is puncturing their hand. Verse number 10. An employer who hires a fool or any bystander is like an archer who shoots at random. When you hire a fool or someone that you do not know to provide work for you, the results will be questionable at best. Just like shooting arrows at random, you may hit the target, but it is unlikely the results will be satisfactory. Verse number 11. As a dog returns to its vomit, so a fool repeats his foolishness. If you're familiar with dogs, when they vomit, many times they will return and consume the vomit to clean it up. In the same way, a fool will vomit foolishness throughout each day, but they continue with their foolish practices. Verse number 12. There's more hope for a fool than those people who think they are wise. As frustrating and ineffective as a fool may be, there is something that's even worse. That is a person who thinks they are wise when they are not. A fool will usually fall into this category. A truly wise person knows that they need to continually gain wisdom, insight, and understanding in many areas of life. Verse number 13. A lazy person claims, "There's a lion on the road. Yes, I am sure there is a lion out there." We now switch from the context of a foolish person to a lazy person, although this person may be both lazy and also foolish. The extremes that a lazy person will do to justify their laziness knows no end. In this verse, this person is so lazy that they fear going outside. And while most of us do not have to deal with actual lions doing outside our house, many people come up with fears that are just ridiculous. And verse number 14, as the door swings back and forth on its hinges, so a lazy person turns over in bed. A lazy person is so predictable with their laziness that the analogy of this verse is that of a hinge on a door. The hinge allows the door to swing back and forth, but the door does not move beyond these bounds. The bed allows a lazy person to flop back and forth without making any progress. Today on our Wisdom Trail, we continue to explore the series of Solomon's Proverbs that were assembled by King Hezekiah. These Proverbs provide us with more wisdom, insight, and understanding. Regardless of where you are on your faith walk, if these precepts and Proverbs are followed, your life will be rich and satisfying. Take them and plant them in your heart so that you'll reap a harvest of wisdom. I would challenge you today to just take one precept in our lesson from Proverbs and commit yourself to applying them to your life. Tomorrow we will hike another short trail on Wisdom Unplugged, where we will discover an inspirational wisdom quote. So I encourage your family and friends to join us and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. That will finish our trek for today. If you'd like to listen to any of the past episodes or read the Wisdom Journals, they are available at wisdom-trek.com. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.